Are you overwhelmed by the idea of launching? I totally get it. In this video, we're going to go over 3 mindset shifts that you absolutely must have in order to have a less overwhelming launch. Stay tuned. Hey friends, and welcome back to my channel. I am Brianca Johnson, a marketing strategist and educator, and I help my clients package their expertise into sellable offers, build automated marketing systems, and profitably plan 5-figure launches. If you are new here, go ahead and hit the subscribe button to continue to see weekly videos of behind the scenes of me building a harmonious life as a wife, mom, marketing strategist, and content creator. All right, so let's get into it. The very first mindset shift that I want you to have is that I want you to understand that the goal is for you to get it done, not for it to be perfect, okay? Like, I don't want you to be so wrapped up in every minute detail that you extend your launch out for 8 months, that you spend all of this money, and you do not actually execute your launch. I see it happen time and time again. You want to make sure you have the perfect copywriter, the perfect graphic designer, the perfect video content and reels, and you get so wrapped up in this research rabbit hole that you don't actually put your service in front of anyone. And so you're spending all of this money, but you're not making any money. And I don't want that to happen to you. So I want you to think about, what do you actually need to execute your launch? Write out what those things are. And then I want you to say, how can you keep your launch profitable, right? So if you are only looking to enroll X number of students at Y price point, that's going to give you a total. You at most want to spend between 20 and 30% of that on the actual execution of your launch. This is what I mean when I say a profitable launch, right? Like, you don't want to spend all of the money that you make before you even make it on the most popular tools, on the most popular copywriters and graphic designers and all of that. You are able to execute your launch in a reasonable time frame with a reasonable budget. And I want that for you. And I know that you want it for yourself too. So I just want you to keep in mind that the goal is for you to get it done. It does not have to be perfect right now, especially if it is your first launch. Because what's going to happen is you are going to launch, and then you're going to assess, you're going to analyze that launch. You're going to think about what went right, what went wrong, what would you do differently, and then you're going to optimize it for the next time. And the gag is, you're going to be continuously optimizing your launch from here on out, right? Marketing is nothing but one big science experiment. There is no methodical, if I do this, then I will 100% get Y result. That's actually not how it works, right? It's a lot of testing. It's a lot of understanding your audience, understanding your clients, and then pivoting and making strategic decisions that align with who they are. So I don't want you to feel the pressure or the burden of having to get it right at this moment, because it's going to get right. It's going to be perfected over time. So with you getting it done, right, I want you to understand that it's so important for you to schedule out your content. So I want you to think about what all assets, what all deliverables do you actually need? And I don't just mean graphics for Instagram. That is one deliverable. I'm also talking about, what content do you need for your sales page? Are you going to have thank you pages? Are you going to write emails? How many emails are you going to write? What will those emails look like at each stage of your customer's journey? And I want you to write, and I want you to automate all of these deliverables. So if you have content and your content is going to go out for a 2-week period, before your cart even opens, that content should be scheduled, right? It should be going out automatically. And the reason that this is so important is because it allows you the opportunity to show up and engage with your audience without the burden of having to ensure that you are selling to them, right? Like, you want to have one focus while your cart is open, and that is getting your ideal clients over that finish line, over that hump, which means that everything else has to be running for you. It has to be automated on a system. And then all you're worried about on the day-to-day is, did I show up in my stories? Did I follow up with people who DM'd me? Have I replied to any applications that are open? Have I followed up with any hot leads? Have I done the over the hump task, right? And so if your content isn't scheduled, then sometimes what happens is you get so wrapped up in, oh, let me create this post for today. Let me make sure I write this email for today, that you don't spend enough time engaging. Insert failed launch. I don't want this for you. So I want you to schedule out your content, and I want you to know that the tools that you have on hand are enough. You do not need every tool and platform that is offered to you. Just because someone else is using this platform doesn't mean that you now all of a sudden have to switch your platform to go to the platform that they're using. If your tools are working for you, don't spend your launch trying to learn a new tool, because that's just going to add more stress and frustration to your launch, right? So I want you to understand that the goal is to get it done, not for it to be perfect. And this is so important for you. It's so important when you're thinking about how can you make sure that your launch is exactly what you want it to be and that you can feel good about it while it's actually happening. The second mindset shift that I want you to make is something will go wrong and it will be fine. You will be fine. I know this for a fact because I have worked with so many online service providers and coaches who have launched for the first time, and I can guarantee, if I can guarantee nothing else, that something will go wrong. The tech will be wonky. Your email tagging system may not work the way it should. Your deadline funnel may not operate the way it should, even with you testing and retesting, right? Something will go wrong and it will be okay. You will just fix it in that moment. And I want to share a story with you. So when I was launching back in 2020, I had did all the things. I set up my sales page, I set up my emails, my content, everything was scheduled. I set up my deadline funnel. Everything was perfect, right? Or so I thought. I get into my launch, we're in day 2, and all of a sudden I'm getting all of these reply backs like, the link isn't working, the link is sending me to a 404 page, etc. And I'm like, what do you mean the link isn't working? I checked and double checked this. Like, this link should definitely be working. But lo and behold, I go and I look at the emails because I also have them sent to myself, and the link is not working, y'all. So I had to go and redirect the link that was in that page to the correct link. I had mistakenly typed out the link and spelled it wrong, right? And so I had to redirect it, but it was an easy fix to make. And so I didn't use that moment to crumble. I didn't use that moment to say like, oh, woe is me. My launch is going to fail. Let me just shut the doors and give up. No, I was tenacious, right? Like, I continued to persevere and to push through to ensure that my launch would be a success. And I thought strategically about how can I fix this broken link without having to resend this email. And what I also did was use the opportunity. So everyone who replied to tell me that the link was broken, I used that as a hot lead. Friend, you were clicking a link. You knew that, so you figured out it was broken, but you were clicking it because you were interested. So now I want to talk to you, right? So sometimes things going wrong also provide an opportunity for us to get closer with our ideal clients, for us to talk about what it is that they need or what they're looking for. Everything is not designed, right, to make you feel like a failure. And so even if something does go wrong, I want you to know that you are equipped to persevere through it, that you are tenacious enough to figure out a solution and to continue to show up and serve your clients. So I want you to not be overwhelmed if something goes wrong. I want you to take a breath and I want you to find a solution. In the comments, I want to hear from you. Let me know which of these mindset shifts do you need to implement in order to prepare for your next launch so you can avoid these feelings of overwhelm and catastrophe. Let's talk in the comments. And the third mindset shift that I want you to make is that you will have to say the same things over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. You are going to sound like you are on repeat, like someone is rewinding your tape and fast forwarding through it, and it will be okay, right? Like, people don't read. They have a lot of questions. They want to hear the answer from you. They don't want to hear the answer from the sales page or from the email. You're going to be repeating yourself. And I want you to think, right? Like, everyone has heard that statistic that in order for consumers to make a purchase, they have to be engaged with that brand, or they have to hear the message 7 to 21 times. Friend, you are the recorder. You are the person who will be saying it 7 to 21 times. So if you are not saying the same things over and over and over and over and over again, then I want you to think about, like, are you actually showing up 100% for your clients, right? Like, are you actually giving them all of the information that they need to make a decision? And one other thing that I want you to know is that Instagram has a shelf life of 24 hours. So if you think about the fact that your content, your stories, all of this is only lasting for 24 hours, and your cart is open for 14 days, that means that you need to be saying the same thing every day for 14 days, because it's only going to last for 24 hours. So don't get frustrated because you feel like, oh, I just said this, maybe I shouldn't repeat this, or I don't know what to talk about. You should be talking about the same thing every day. You should be repeating it. You should be regurgitating it. And there are ways that you can do this from different perspectives. I teach my clients the S3 method, right? And so what we do is we take a pain point, or we take a desire or an objection, and we talk about it from the perspective of a story, a strategy, and a step, right? So I'll give you an example. Let's say your client is struggling with recording videos for her YouTube channel. Really? This is like what's happening here. But your client is struggling with recording videos for her YouTube channel. Your story is going to be about how your client was struggling with recording videos for her YouTube channel, and she reached out to you so that way she could batch record her videos, and how it changed the game for how she created content, how it made her life easier, it made it more streamlined, it saved her all these hours, and it allowed her to repurpose her content in ways that made her business more profitable. A step that you may share would be like how to repurpose your YouTube videos in 3 easy steps, and then you're going to give them the steps. A strategy that you may share would be how you should be repurposing your YouTube videos into other forms of content that you own. So what that does is now we're talking about the same thing. We're sharing the same stories over and over and over again, but it's not redundant. We're talking about it from different perspectives. We're pulling in people who are auditory learners, who are kinesthetic learners, people who want to take fast action, people who just want to see the result, right? And so when you're thinking about, I'm just saying the same things over and over and over again, I want you to think about, how can you make this spicy? How can you make it more engaging? How can you make it more fun for your ideal client? So that way, even if they are hearing the same message over and over and over again for 14 days, they're engaged. And they want to know more. They want to hear from you. They want to know what the stories or the strategies or the steps are, because they are circling the drain. They're waiting to make a decision with you. They're waiting to ensure that you are the person who can help them. So do not go into your launch thinking, I'm going to say this one time and I'm going to hit my launch goal. That's not how this works. Instead, I want you to think about, how can I repeat this message as many times as my ideal client needs to hear it, in ways that keep them engaged, that keep them excited, that keep them coming back to my page for more content. If you like those mindset shifts, but you know that you just need a little more strategy, a little more help to get you over the curve, right? I want you to download the free sales funnel training in my description box. This free training is going to give you the 10-step framework that has helped dozens of clients automate their marketing and make more money. And it's totally free. So click the link, add your name, add your email, and I will see you in the comments, where you are going to tell me which of these mindset shifts has really helped you think about how you can prepare for your next launch to make it less overwhelming. I'll see you next time. Bye.